Yeah. First of all, if anyone is joining my webinars for the first time, this is Kishore Ramaraju from Houston, Texas. I am in this country since 2005. I used to work for Wipro earlier, and nearly after working for 10 to 11 years for Wipro, I resigned to Wipro and then got into a full-time job in US. While working with Wipro, I worked with Microsoft, Capital One, FedEx, and a lot of other companies. As most of you might be from IT and you know about how those services companies do work. And now I am a financial professional with a state certified. In addition to that, I organized over 200 to 300 various webinars. Right, it can be related to kids education related concepts, it can be memory, or it can be related to stocks or options or futures or crypto, or it can be real estate investments. It can be related to meditation or how to plan for kids college. So most of you know me, most of you might have attended my previous webinars. So I want to make sure our community is not leaving any gaps and trying to make sure that they are doing things because we are from a different country. We are first generation in this country. We assume that most of the things work here in the same way in this country, but there are a lot of differences. So that's what I want to explain you why this will and trust is very, very important in this country. The reason for this sudden meeting. So today, right, as you know, I started a group called as Indian Desi Friends or Indian Friends. We have around 20,000 members across USA. We have these WhatsApp groups in nearly 20 plus cities, including Houston, Atlanta, New Jersey, Bay Area, nearly most of the top 20-25 cities in US. We have these groups. So every day I see these GoFundMes, right? Today I was looking, right, yesterday I saw this, someone from Atlanta who is just 43 years old. He got heart attack and right, GoFundMe link. Today it was much more, very sad to see somebody who came for MS who is just 25-year-old, right? He got heart attack. So most of us think like these health issues will come only after 60 or 65 or 70. But every day we see these GoFundMe links on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on Telegram, and we contribute to them. But most of us forget to take care of our family first, right? We may be contributing some $50, $100 or some X amount for those GoFundMes, because when we see those, we feel pity for that family situation. But one thing we need to know is, are we taking care of our family? If someone, right, some of our friends or relatives are in that situation, are they properly covered? Do they know what are the consequences if they don't have certain things in this country? So that is the reason, right? Especially after seeing this 25-year-old guys GoFundMe, immediately I thought like, right, I did these sessions sometime 1 year or 1.5 years back. But later when I saw these things, then I thought like, okay, let me do one more session, create that awareness, right? From where you do, it is up to you. If you know some friends, you can always go to them. If you don't know anyone, I can definitely help, or I have a big team who can help. My objective is not that you have to come to me and do it, but I want you to just make sure that you are protecting protecting your assets or protecting your families with proper planning. So we all know that, right? We all came to this country to give a better life to our families, to have a better standard of living, and also to earn more, right? It is equally important, right? Not only making money, protecting that money is also very, very important. So that protection, right? Maybe until 40, 45, 50, we'll be working very hard. 40, 50, 60 hours per week, we'll be protecting, we'll be saving in the bank, or you might be doing stock trading, or you might be doing a lot of things, right? For example, some of you may have a Robinhood account. If I have some 100K, 200K on a Robinhood account, and if something happens to me, that entire 200K is gone, right? It is not like in India where we have a Hindu act where if something happens to me, my kids will automatically get it or my siblings will get it. So there is a proper law established in that country. But whereas in this country, if something happens to parents and if I don't have a will, everything goes to probate court, right? It means basically just think like it goes to government. Then government will decide what to do with those assets. They charge huge fees, and then they may take their own decision. If you are not creating a decision, right? If you are not saying that, okay, if something happens to me and my spouse, then this 40% should go to my first son, 40% should go to my second son, some 10% should go to this charity or something, whatever it is, right? If you don't decide, the government will decide. It is not that immediately our kids will get all those properties. So, right, in a whole, it is called as estate planning, right? Estate planning is not just will, it is a combination of power of attorney, advanced healthcare directive, a living trust, will. There are a lot of different documents or different components which are part of the estate plan. We'll see one by one. But let us first understand why do we really need it, right? Why this estate planning is important. As mentioned, it is to protect us and protect our family, protect our assets. So what are the various benefits of having a estate plan or having a will, right? Without a will, the state law dictates who gets your assets. This is true even if you have already told your family and friends which assets should go to whom, right? Even though I might have told to my spouse or my parents that, okay, if something happens to me, this should go to my first daughter, this should go to my second daughter, this home or this land. All those things are not applicable, right? All those your oral contracts are void here. There should be a proper documented, right? A legally documented. That means it should be notarized by a notary. Then only the document is valid. Otherwise, the government, the state law can dictate who will get the assets. Even though we may have just a home, or it may be just a 50K in the bank account, a 25K in Robinhood account, right? In Robinhood, you can't even define who will be the beneficiary if something happens to us. So such type of issues we have, but we ignore those things. Then not only assets, right? It is much more important about our children. Even if we don't name a guardian, the judge can make decision who should take care of the kids. Even that decision also the state will take, right? Especially if both, right? We saw many incidents where in a car accident, mother and father, right, passing away at the same time. Such type of incidents, it is much more difficult, right? If only something happens to one of them, if one of them is alive, then it is little better. But if something happens to both at the same time, then there might be a lot of issues, right? Wife's parents may say that, no, we will take care of kids, or husband's parents may say, or husband siblings may say. So there will be a lot of such type of issues or such type of family turmoil which can cause if we don't name the guardian, right? If I name it, then I am, right? That is my will. In Telugu, you say Vilnama, right? It is like you are saying, like, if something happens to both, or then who should be the guardian? If you decide it, then kids will be happy. Otherwise, government can take decision whatever they want, right? That is much more important. More than assets, we want to take care of our kids. If something unexpected happens, we want to make sure they are in a better place, better with a better people. Then the third thing is probate court, right? As mentioned, if we are not doing these things, then all our assets, our bank accounts, our stock brokerage accounts, everything goes into probate court. The court can take few months, right? It can be 3 months, 6 months, 1 year to decide who should get those assets. And it is not just free, right? Again, they charge huge fees for doing all that service. So if we don't do it properly, then the probate court is going to do it. And they may take some 20, 30,000, 40,000. You never know based on our our properties, the complexities involved in dividing it, all those things. They may take their legal fee and all those things and then distribute the remaining based on their own decisions. We don't have any choice because we didn't do it when it was needed to be done. Then court will take whatever they want and they will divide the assets, properties to the to right. They may divide it to, they may give 25% to the spouse, 25% to parents of the husband, 25% to kids, like that. Whatever they want, they can take the decision. Right. That is another major problem of not having a will. And also medical decisions, right? Even medical decisions, for example, if somebody gets into a major accident, he's in a coma, such type of decisions, right? Whether the doctor says that like it takes some huge money, or there is a complex procedure involved to do some brain operation or something. So when even the decision making also will be difficult. Sometimes when that person is not able to take a decision, whether can wife take a decision or not, again, it should be, you should have given a written statement or written agreement that, okay, in case if I'm not able to make such decisions, my wife can take a decision on my procedures, on my operations, or on my surgeries, such type of things. Even that medical power of attorney is also very, very important. Even end of life decisions. For example, somebody is brain dead, right? He's not able to do anything, but huge, right? Medical expenses are huge here, especially after once we lose our health insurance after 60, 65, any medical issue, you may have only some Medicare coverage, but after that we have to pay everything from our pocket. In such type of situations, right? Whether that end of life decisions should also, we should give it in the form of a advanced directive so that they can take a decision whether right what should be done in the next step. Such type of things also right, we can get advantage with these type of will and this estate planning. So estate planning, many people, right, many of us think that estate planning means just a will, where I will say that, oh, I have this home, I have this properties, this will go to my kid one, kid two. Many people think like, okay, will means that's it, just what assets you have and to whom you want to give. But it is much more than that. Estate planning contains last will and testament, living trust, general durable power of attorney, advanced care directive, healthcare surrogate designation, HIPAA authorization, all these documents collectively called as estate planning package, right? It is not just a will, but there are a lot of other documents which can be very, very helpful, right? Until we get into that situation, we think like, right, okay, it is not needed, nothing will happen to us, it will only happen to somebody but not to us, right? We never know, right? Nobody thought a 25-year-old student will get into a heart attack situation. Nobody thought a 40-year guy will get a heart attack. So we are seeing every day, we are seeing right, we don't want to assume things, and especially in this environment with a lot of work pressure, a lot of peer pressure, a lot of things, everybody is in a lot of stress. So it is always better to be planned, so that when we plan things better, nothing will happen, right? For example, if you have your car insurance or home insurance, nothing will happen. Suddenly sometime we think like, okay, let's not take insurance for a rental vehicle or something. Then only during that time something will happen, right? In the same way, anything, whenever we don't plan, suddenly some things will happen. When you plan everything properly, when you take some travel insurance, you are booking a vacation and something, and you book a travel insurance so that if something inconvenience happens, you can reimburse those flight tickets and hotel charges, then nothing will happen. When you don't, when you think like, okay, nothing will happen, let me plan my vacation and don't take the insurance, suddenly somebody will get sick and we will, right, we have to cancel everything, we have to bear a lot of expenses. So that's why it is better to put some time and plan it properly so that we can be peacefully sleep, right? Because, right, for all of us, family is the first most important thing. Why we are here in this country living, everyone, to give a better life to our spouse and kids. But are we really doing it? Are we really taking care of them? If something happens to me, am I taking care of my family? That's the question we all should ask. And if not, then definitely we need to give this as a priority, right? This is as important as your visa, as important as your passport in this country. So it is very, very right, whether you are a citizen or a visa holder, for everyone it is important. Anybody above 18, having will and trust is very important. Right? Let us look at what are the uses of these documents. Right? First one is this last will and testament. Right? Basically, it is nothing but which defines our assets, where I can define the beneficiary. I can say that, okay, I have a home here in Houston. I have a land in Dallas. I have some properties in Hyderabad, and I can name beneficiaries. If something happens to me and my spouse, okay, my brother, he will be my first beneficiary. Or if something also happens to him, my second beneficiary, or sorry, beneficiaries, basically my kids, right? I can say my kids or my parents or something like that. And then we can also appoint an executor. Executor means who executes the will. If something happens to me, that person will execute the will. That means he is like a guardian. I will name who will be the guardian in case something happens to me, right? If something happens to me, my wife can be guardian. But if something happens to both of us, who will be the executors of the contract? If something also happens to them, who will be the secondary executors? Like that, I can define all those things and I can update it, right? If I buy some new property, I can add that to the will, existing will. So basically the most recent version of the will document is called as last will and testament. So this is one of the estate planning documents where I define my assets, I name who will be the beneficiaries, I will including minor children, majors, and then I also appoint someone to oversee the distribution process, who are nothing but the executors of the will or the guardians. Then the second type, right, that is called as a living trust. So if you just have a will document, the problem is still you need to go to a court, right? If I write a will, if I don't have a will, then court will take the decision. If I have a will document, my executor will go and take the document, show it to the probate court. Then they know that, okay, this Mr. X, he defined his will like this. So it will be easy for them. Based on that decision, they will divide the properties. But still it won't avoid the probate court process. But if I have a trust, that means a living trust, a revocable living trust or a revocable trust, it is also a legal document which establishes trust for any assets you wish to transfer in. So for example, I want to transfer my car into some Kishore's trust. I want to transfer my home into Kishore's trust. I want to transfer my land into Kishore's trust. I create a trust called as Kishore's trust and I transfer all those assets on the trust name. And I will have my beneficiaries also as part of the trust, so that there is no need of probate court here. If something happens to me, the beneficiaries will automatically get access to those documents. It also helps in minimizing the estate taxes, right? In this country, even if you have to pass the properties to your kids, you have to pay taxes. So this trust, it takes little more time compared to a will, but it will save a lot of taxes. It will save the privacy. It will also save, right? It will save the probate court expenses. It will save the time. There are a lot of advantages with a living trust compared to a will. But again, will, you have some other advantages which a trust cannot do. So that's why getting a will and trust is important, right? Not just a will not be sufficient, or just a trust will not be sufficient. Why? Let us look into the other documents. Then the power of attorney, right? For example, suddenly I went to India, I got stuck there, right? For some reason, for 3 months, 6 months, because of some visa issues or some, whatever it might be, some suddenly another COVID variant came and right, and all flights got canceled, something. So in such type of scenarios, if I want to give authority to my wife to do various transactions in this country, whether bank transactions or land dealings or business dealings, whatever it is, that is called as power of attorney. Or you may want to give power of attorney to your parents in India so that they can buy certain things on your name, they can do certain transactions on your name. So that is also a part of estate planning document where you are granting a person the authority to act on your behalf with whatever matters you designate. You can say that, okay, this person, my brother, is responsible to take care of any real estate type of decisions on my behalf. So that I am giving that authority so he can do any transactions on my name. So that is also part of this estate planning, right? Not only living will, living trust, and also the power of attorney. Then advance care directive. This is another document which is part of estate planning, where I can say what healthcare treatments I would like to have or refuse. For example, I may not like to have some major heart surgeries, right? When I am in a coma, I may not be able to tell all those things, but I can put those in the documents, or I can say that these are the procedures I'm okay to have, these are the procedures I don't want to have, or these are the organ donations I want to do, whatever it is, right? Whatever you want to declare, you can do it in a legal form using this advance care directive, where when we are seriously ill or injured or unable to make or communicate the decisions about the care and treatment of us, we can put such type of things in a document, in a legalized document, so that the document will be useful by the surgeons or the doctors to see which ones we are giving authority, for which ones we are not authorizing to them. Then healthcare surrogate. Again, as I mentioned, for example, some Mr. X got into a major accident. He got into a coma situation. They need to do a major brain surgery or something. So he is not able to take a decision. So there should be somebody who should be able to take decision on his behalf, right? Whether that procedure should be done. It is a very serious, complex procedure, complex surgery which need to be done. It might cure him, or it may also lead to death. It may lead to memory loss. So such type of decisions also, we have to give authority, saying like, okay, my spouse, I am giving authority for my spouse to take such decisions, or I am giving authority to my siblings or to your best friends. You can say that that person can act on your behalf in making health related decisions or receiving any healthcare information in situations where you cannot communicate, where you cannot talk, where you cannot decide. They will be acting on your behalf, right? Power of attorney is more with financial transactions. This is more of health issues, health related transactions. And then HIPAA authorization, right? Most of when we visit doctors, we fill this HIPAA authorization form, where we fill, right, what all who all can access my health related information. You are giving permission for them to right, for you can say that, okay, my spouse or my kids can access, or you can share my health information with them, or so such type of information, right, you give as part of HIPAA authorization. So all these documents, right, will and trust is not just one document, but all this package of all these documents is collectively called as will and trust, right? Having a trust will help you to avoid the probate court, whereas all the other documents are different forms of will, some for financial transactions, some for health issues, some for your asset related, to define who will be the beneficiaries, who will be the guardians for kids. All these things are very, very important, right? If we don't do it, then government can decide whatever they want, and they can charge whatever they want, which can take few months together, right? Already the family will be in such a bad situation, and then we are adding more troubles, more pain to their, right? Mentally already they are suffering, and financially, because all your bank accounts are locked, all your financial, your trading accounts are locked, your assets are locked. So we don't want to keep our family, or we don't want to be anyone in that situation where things are right, they are completely lost, right? They cannot do anything, they cannot right, it is not that easy. When things are going good, everything looks good, but if suddenly something happens, then, right, especially in our community, we don't even tell to our wife that where you are putting your money in trading accounts, where you are buying some land, where you are have some money in your bank accounts. You may open multiple accounts, they may not be, even know about those things, right? So please make sure you communicate every monthly once or 3 months once, share all this information, and this will is a formal document which will detail all those things so that it acts as a communication, right? Even though you forget to inform, all that information is detailed at one place, which will help the family. Even though you are not there, right? We are not there, the family will not be facing the trouble. Then another important thing, right? Another major gap, many of us, right? Many of us think it is not needed. We take insurance for our car. We take insurance for our home. We take even insurance for our refrigerator, our washing machine, dishwasher, all those things, right? They are worth of maybe $500, $1,000, $2,000. Home maybe a 500K, 600K. But many of us think like that life insurance is not needed, right? Again, we think like nothing will happen to us, or we think that, okay, I already have an employer insurance. My employer is covering my insurance, right? The problem with employer insurance is it is a group insurance, group life insurance. That means if I stop working with that company, then I won't have any insurance, right? You may say that, okay, if not this company, I'll go and work for some other company. Let us say we have a 2 months, 3 months gap between one employer to another employer. If something happens to us in that period, right? How our family is protected. Let us say, okay, there is no gap. I am working until 58 or 60, right? In this country, I don't know whether when we are 55 or 60, whether some software company will still keep us, or they will go with some young chaps who are much cheaper and also much intelligent, who can do much faster, right? Maybe 50, 55 is the maximum I think we can work. After that, what next, right? Are we covered? Most of the problems will start after that age, right? After 50, 55. And if I don't have an insurance outside my employer, I am completely lost, right? And can we depend on our kids that they will be able to take care of all those medical expenses? It is very, very difficult, right? In this country, everybody will have their own expenses. They need to take care of their family. So it is not like in India where we might have taken care of our parents, but we cannot depend on our kids, right? If they are doing that is good, but we cannot plan that they will be taking care of our health expenses, medical expenses after 58 or 60. So having a insurance, right? Having that life insurance outside employer is very, very important, because when we are out of the job, that coverage is terminated. And also it generally comes with a limited coverage, maybe 200K, 300K. Even if you pay some extra amount, they may cover up to some more. And it doesn't come with a lot of other benefits, right? We may generally have only death benefit. If something happens, then that employer may pay up to 2 times of the annual salary or 3 times of the annual salary. That's it. It won't come with a lot of other benefits like living benefits and other things. Right? That is the major gap, again, right? Because of either lack of information or assuming that nothing will happen to us. We think, right, okay, I am fine, nothing will happen to us. Problems will only come to others. But are we really thinking about our family who left everyone and came here to this country, leaving their parents, leaving their friends, brothers? Are we really taking care of them? That is what we need to remember, right? I hope everyone got the difference between what is the individual insurance. That means I have the insurance whether I am working or not. As long as I pay my monthly premiums, I am completely covered. Even 60, 70, 75. My policy, I have a policy where, for example, if it is a term policy, if I am a healthy person with 35 or 40 years old, maybe I may pay $50, $60 per month, which is nothing, right? If we go to a movie, it will cost that. Or if we do a weekend party, it will be double the expense of that. So having that will, right? You may have a 1 million coverage. If something happens, then they don't need to depend on all these thousands of strangers, each one contributing $5, $10, GoFundMe, right? It is like a legal begging. right? What we are doing without protecting our family, we are asking them to go and do begging, right? I am not taking care of my family, but I want all those thousands of strangers to help my family if something happens to me, right? Is it really, are we in that poor situation where we cannot put some 50-60 dollars for our family, right? So that if something happens to me, my kids are protected, their college expenses are protected, their home, our home is protected, right? They don't need to uh, go to India, right? All such type of things. And earlier, insurance means we used to think only about death, right? Only if death happens, we will get some money from that company. But nowadays, insurance has a lot of other benefits like death benefit. If some critical illness happens, right? Some heart issues, some kidney, liver transplantations, or there are a lot of critical issues which are covered. Chronic illness, terminal illness, cancer, blood cancer. There are a lot of things, right? If a person, for example, if a doctor certifies that a person will not live more than 2 years from now, the company will pay well in advance, 80 up to say 70 to 80% of the money to the patient while he is living, right? So living benefit means while he is living, he can use all the benefits of the policy. He might have paid only some 10,000, 20,000, but he will get that 1 million. Out of 1 million, he may get 800K or 750K. When he is living, he can take care of everything. He can clear the loan. He can take care of kids' education. He can enjoy, go to different countries, visit the places. While he is living, he can enjoy the insurance benefits, right? When he get into any illness, right? That is, they don't need to pay only to a doctor or something. They will just, the company will issue a cash or a check to the person, to the insured, and he can use in whatever way he want, right? Money for it, they can use it for medical bills, they can use for deductibles, they can use to replace the income, right? They can use it even for home, on the home mortgage, right? For example, I have a 30-year mortgage, suddenly something happens to a person, then the company will pay the entire mortgage so that our family don't need to leave that home if something happens to the main head of the household. Like that, there are a lot of variations, varieties, add-ons, advantages with the insurance policies now, right? Again, I'm not saying that you need to take an expensive policy. Even having a minimum term policy is much better compared to not having anything and thinking, right? Planning for a GoFundMe, right? Don't think, right? People already got bored or already not even, right? Many people, right? Initially, we all used to feel bad. We used to contribute. Slowly, it is because everybody is using that as the plan, right? That as the retirement plan or the death benefit plan, instead of they protecting their own families. So, right, in few months or few years, people may stop even contributing $5, $10 also to those GoFundMe campaigns, right? When we are not protecting, why should somebody care about our family's well-being, right? So that's what, right? I want to explain the importance, right? We all want to make money in stocks, options, all those things are good, but are we really taking care of our families first? Are we protecting them? If something happens to us suddenly, are they protected? Do they have, right? Do we have a will and trust? Do we know who are the guardians? Do we know how much assets, what assets we have? Do your spouse know all that information? So all these things are very, very important, and 90% of us ignore it, right? Because of lack of information, or just we want to, right? Because these thoughts are, right, that cause the pain. When you think about something bad happening, we feel, right, we don't want to discuss on that. We want to avoid it. We want to procrastinate it. But if we procrastinate or if we avoid it, will it stop such type of bad incidents? It is better to plan so that nothing will happen, rather than not planning it. And if something happens and everybody, the entire family, not only family, right, not only our spouse and kids, their parents, the person's parents, it is a financial struggle, mental struggle for so many people because of one person's mistake or one person's negligence or one person's procrastination. So let us take that, because most of us are well educated, well, right? Most of us make minimum 70K, 80K, 100K, 150K. So it is not really problem with spending that $100, $50, $80 per month. It is basically, again, right, as I told, thinking that, oh, I will go to India, right? I want to stay here in this country. But we will be saying that from day one, first year, we'll say that I'll stay for 3 to 4 years and then I'll go back. Then 10 years, then 15 years, 20 years, it will happen. It is a common story of every NRI. So, or we feel nothing will happen to us. We'll be, every day we'll be seeing GoFundMe's, we'll be thinking, but yeah, we won't be protecting our own family. So again, right, if you know somebody, talk to them, get the will and insurance, these type of things. If you don't know anyone, yeah, I can, or I have a big team who can help you. Only thing is, don't neglect it. Don't think that nothing will happen. Use the information and share it with a lot more other friends and families who are taking the same risk, right? It is not worth taking the risk which cost a few $100, right? We spend on a lot of things. On vacation, we spend a few thousands of dollars. If we go to India, we spend some $5,000 to $10,000. Whereas this one is like a lifelong asset. You can sleep peacefully, say, thinking that, okay, now everything is covered. If something happens, family is completely protected. So please take care of your families. And yeah, if you need any more details, or if you want to, yeah, right, have a 1 hour free consultation or something, you can email to me, and either me or one of my partners will sit with you. They will see like which is the best one, right? Based on your affordability, suitability, what is good for you, right? Either will and trust or term policies, right? Because we work with a lot of various companies, right? We don't work with one company. We work with 5 to 6 different companies like AAG, and there are a lot of other companies. So we see which is good for you based on your situation, and then we will suggest that. But if you have someone within your circle, your close friend, your close relative, feel free to reach to them. But my objective is make sure that none in our community get into such type of GoFundMe situations, or get into, because I manage all these groups. I get calls. If suddenly something happens, they will say that, oh, do you know some attorney? My husband did not write this will. He did not do this. And then it takes months together for them to resolve those issues. So because I see all those issues, they call me, and if some sudden death happens, then again, right, we take care of such type of things. Because of all such type of experiences, right, I want to make sure. I didn't do this session since long time. When I saw all those GoFundMe's again, I thought like, let me, right, even if one family takes advantage of this session and they protect their family, then my 1 hour is fruitful, right? With that, thanks everyone for joining in, and I hope you take care of your family needs. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to post it in the chat window. Yeah, I am sharing my email ID here. Right? Yeah, once you, yeah, so there are various softwares, right? One is, if your employer has all this package, right? Again, I'm not saying that you have to buy something. If your employer has a pack, right? Some of the employers provide all these documents. First, check with your employer. If they have something which is covering all these things, then do that first, right? So that you don't need to pay to anyone. If they don't have something, then we work with multiple companies like Netla and others, where you have to just go and fill all your details, right? It is like a 1 hour process, 30 to 40 minutes process, where I can share a video on how to do it. And then once you fill all that process, then it basically generates the documents, all these documents. So once all those documents are generated, you have to take it to a notary and get it notarized, and they become legal documents. So that is how you create a will and trust document, right? But first thing is you check with your employer, talk to your HR or talk to your benefits advisor or administrator, see if they have some process or some company which can be done quickly, right? Sometimes they may have it, but they will say that you need to wait for 6 months or 7 months to talk to some your company's legal attorney or someone, right? Don't delay for a few $100, right? Now there is, right, with NetLaw, there is something called as you buy one, get one. That means you pay $300, you get all these documents, right? It is like a software, right? All the attorneys, they developed a software. So for example, if you go to an attorney, you have to pay some $4,000 to $5,000 to get all these documents created. Instead of going to an attorney, you can use that NetLaw software, and then you can basically fill all, right? It will say that, okay, what is your name? What is your spouse name? What is your kid's name? Who should be your guardian? Who should be your guardian to? Like that, it will ask all the questions. You have to just fill all those things. Then based on which state you live. If you are in Texas, it will generate documents which are related to Texas. If you are in New York, New Jersey, or whichever state you are, it will generate. If you move from one state to other, then it will, you can update the documents. It will again generate the documents based on the state you are living. And if you buy some new properties later, you can go and add those information, and you can update your will and trust documents like that. Right, we work with that NetLaw, but again, I don't want you to feel that I am doing this session for right to share about NetLaw. My objective is to have this information, check with your employer, talk to them, find out if they have some free package, if they have some free thing, and if they can be done quickly, please take care of that, so that minimum one part is done. Now only that having the insurance is the second one. But if you don't have it, you can reach to me. You can email to support@rightchoiceadvisors.com, or you can send it to kishore.ramaraju@gmail.com, which I'll put it in the chat window. And you can, you can also include the assets from India, right? Even though they are not legally, you cannot. Right, but in the documentation, you right, you can send to either the support mail, or you can send to my personal mail, and we can schedule a call with you and explain everything. And based on your situation, we can take care of those needs. Guardians can be anywhere, right? They can be, but it is always better, right? Instead of giving someone in India, you can give their information also. For example, your parents or your siblings. But it is always better to have someone who is from US, right? For example, if we get into a situation where flights are not available, or where we get into the COVID situation, right? They may not be able to travel here immediately. So it's always better to have somebody from the same state. So if such type of scenario happens, they can immediately come and minimum start, right, take care of kids until our parents come from India to this country. Once they are here, then yeah, they can take care of kids and other things. So basically it is one package which will come for both wife and husband. So if you buy one package, but you need to have separate set of documents for wife, separate set of documents for husband, which will come in one package. So wife will say that, okay, my husband is the primary guardian, right? Primary beneficiary or primary guardian. Husband will say wife's name. If something happens to both, then you will have the second guardians or third set of guardians like that. So yeah, it is a combined package. So if you buy a package, it is useful for both wife and husband. So again, right, for this NetLaw package, which I mentioned, it is a one-time cost, right? For example, if you pay with $600, you and one more family, right? One more your friends or relatives, they will get a free package. So you both can divide the cost. So it will come to $300 for all these documents. And for first 1 year, it is completely free. After 1 year, if you want to make edits to the documents, right? For example, you create the documents and you don't want to make any more changes, then that's it. You don't pay anything. But if you have to make changes, right? You may have another kid, or you may buy some more properties, or you may you may change from one state to some other totally different state. In such type of scenarios, you may have to make modifications. Then there is a $8 per month charge from the 13th month, right? First 12 months, you don't, once you pay that $300 or 600, the first one, second one will not pay anything. Then it basically covers it for first 1 year. From 13th month, if you want to keep it active, if you want to keep editing your documents, then you have to pay 8 months per month as a recurring charge, and you can cancel at any point of time. Yeah, Netla, and yeah, I can send a link. And also, right, there is another advantage where, for example, if you come as a big group, right, you can get additional discounts also. So, for example, you have some more friends, and now, right, I want you to pass this information to every friend and family, you know, so that we don't want anyone to be in that situation, right? Because if one of your friends is affected, again, you have to face the heat, or you have to, right? When you know all this information, and if somebody gets into that situation, you feel bad that you did not share that information to them. Otherwise, they would have been protected. They would have been in a better situation. So share it to everyone. And if you come as a big group, there can be, right, I can talk to Netla and get additional discounts if there is a big group. Right, again, I'm reading the questions, if there are any other questions. So yeah, whoever is interested, there is a link which is available through which you will get that buy one, get one. So with Netla, you get all these documents, all this comprehensive document. So based on the group size, we can provide, right? For example, if you are only 4 families, you may get additional $25 discount. If you are 10 families, you may get a $50 or $75 discount. All right, on your $300, you get $75 discount. You pay only $225 per family, like that. So if the group size is bigger, you can get more and more, because they pay something, and instead of me taking that, I will pass that to you back, so that right, your family is protected. And so because I'm making enough from my other businesses, so I don't want to make any money from this one. Right, I shared my emails, support@rightchoiceadvisors.com or kishore.ramaraju@gmail.com. And yeah, I'll also share the recording, because I want to make sure all the families in our community are protected. We don't want to see those GoFundMe links, and we want to avoid such type of. Yeah, you can authorize anyone outside the country as well. The beneficiaries need not be in US. The beneficiaries can be also outside US, right? It can be your parents, it can be your siblings, anybody outside US also can be the beneficiaries. And yeah, in the US equities, I will put all the information. I'll share the recording. I'll also, right? Yeah, you can include assets from India, and guardians can be anywhere, but better to have some of them from US, so that it will be easy. I think I answered all the questions. executor, right? Basically the guardian, they can be, yeah, the minimum, the primary executor, if somebody is from US, it is always better. Right, after 1 year, for example, right, there is a scenario you cancel after 12 months, but after 2 or 3 more years, again, you bought some properties and you want to immediately, right, you can activate it. You have to pay $250 to Netlaw at that time. So for first 1 year, you paid $300, you got it. And after 2 or 3 years, you got another property. After 12 months, you canceled it so that there is no $8 recurring monthly charges. So after 2-3 years, you got another property, or you gave birth to another child, you want to include their details, or you want to add some other guardian or some other beneficiary, whatever reason, right? At that time, you have to pay $250 as a reactivation charge. Let us say in the 14th month itself, you want to do that, right? In 12th month, you canceled it. In 14th or 15th month, you want to do that. At that time, what you will do is 12th to 15th, there are 3 months. So you will pay $24, then they will reactivate your account. You can make all the changes. If it is after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, the maximum you pay is $250 for the activation. The minimum you pay is whatever is that months, right? How many months you missed. If it is only 2-3 months, you will pay that, and they will reactivate, and you can make edits. But remember that even though your documents are valid for lifelong, even though you cancel it after 12 months, only thing you lose is you cannot edit the documents, but everything else you will be able to do. You can use the documents, and you can access the documents. All those things will be on the digital vault, so that you don't need to carry the documents with you always. They will be on a digital drive, so that from any place, right? If we get into some accident or something, you may want to give some advanced directive. You can go to the app and you can just look at the document and you can give it. So yeah, that is about right. Again, having all these collective, right? As long as if your employer is providing all these documents, it is good. Otherwise, better get, right? When you are doing it, why not do completely? Don't do 10%, 20%, just do a last will or something. Do everything. It takes 1 hour, but it is valid for lifelong. If you are right, basically, if for example you are taking a will and trust with Netlaw, right? Those documents are legal documents, so they don't show something like as a Netlaw document, right? It is only they are like a software who are helping you to generate all these documents easily. But you can use those documents anywhere, right? If you move to a different state or something, yeah, those documents are completely valid. Right, I already answered that question. After a couple of years, if you have to edit, right, either you pay $250 as one-time activation charge. For example, after 2-3 years, you want to do activate, right? You want to edit something. You have to pay one-time $250 charge. Then they will activate your account again. You can make all the edits. If you don't have anything else, you can cancel immediately. Or if you want to continue, again, you will pay from next month. You will continue to pay $8. How easy it is to make changes if some attorney performs initial will or trust. These documents are basically, right, every state has its own template. So these documents are legally valid because somebody notary from US is notarizing them. So these are valid or legal documents in US court of law. You cannot take this will and show it to an Indian court and right, for them, for information sake, you can put like, okay, I have these assets in Hyderabad, I have this bank, ICICI bank, HDFC bank, all those things. But these cannot be like a valid or legal documents in Indian court. If there is a dispute, a US court will use these documents and they will accept these as legal documents. So, right, what happens when the wife and husband died in accident? How will family know? For example, if you are dear, right, you are saying your brother as the guardian or executor, you will basically inform them, right? You will, once you get the document, you can also just send a copy to them, right? You before you saying that I am writing your name as my guardian for my kids if something happens, then it is always better you inform them so that they know that, right? It is also a big responsibility, right? You cannot just put somebody's name without letting them know. So if something happens to a couple, then that guardian already knows that, okay, this happened, so it is my responsibility to take care of their kids or to take care of their assets now. So yeah, make sure that you communicate with them before adding someone as a guardian or something. So yeah, I will send a link which will give that buy one get one, right? Right, yeah. If you call Netla, they'll ask to again approach me. So yeah, I can send a link which will give you that buy one get one offer. So once you pay 600, the second family will get it for free, and then you both can divide that $300 each. And if you are coming with a big group, then yeah, you can get more discounts. Any service to transfer these documents to Indian legal setup? I don't think we have any such type of service because, right, the softwares here, and in India it is basically, right, as part of Hindu Act. So you don't need to really do something there. It is already defined as part of the Hindu Act. So if something happens to the parents, then kids will automatically get it. But here in this country, it is not like that. So that's why it is very, very important in this country compared to India. In India, because, right, we things that family culture, everything is there, it is easy. Whereas here, things are totally different. So everything needs an agreement, everything needs a contract, everything needs a written and a legal documents. So that's why these things are important. Yeah, thanks everyone. Hope right, your 1 hour was worth it. You learned some new concepts, why these things are very, very important here. Yeah, come and talk to all your friends, and yeah, the general cost is $600 with buy one get one. Basically, it comes to $300 for the first 1 year. If you want to keep editing from 13th month, you pay $8. Otherwise, you can cancel in the 12th month, and then you can continue to use the documents for lifelong. Even though you cancel it, you will still have access to the software. You can still view your documents. You can share the documents, all those things. Only editing will be disabled from 13th month. Right? Yeah, make sure, right, take care of those things and let us eliminate all those GoFundMes, and let's educate our community, right? Create that awareness. Yeah, thanks everyone. Thank you, and have a great rest of the week, and let's rock with more stocks and options tomorrow, right? Even the market went so down, every day we'll have opportunities. We can make it. This market day trading is best, where you quickly take 15-20% profit and then exit out. So yeah, I'll keep sharing some free alerts in the US equities. And yeah, thanks everyone. Good night everyone, and talk to you in the next sessions.